That one.
Okay, then. We are live with the Calm Cast. Now, unlike my normal cast, which are all about
Did
busting
you just say
bullshit.
Comcast?
Calm Cast, yes. Normally,
okay.
I like
My
to
bad.
go with BS busting or railing against the injustices of the gaming industry. But this is going to be a bit different. Look, this is to calm people down. So this cast is in place for one very simple reason. So I want everyone who's listening to this, or who will listen to it in the future if you're not listening to it now, first, I need you to untwist your gonads, sit down, close your mouth, open your ears, use the gray matter between those two ears, and listen to what I'm about to say.
Listen.
Calm down. Don't panic. Everything's going to be okay.
Link, listen.
Watch out.
Okay, what we're about... Look, Nintendo is... So I'm going to... Here are 5 things that I just want to say very quickly, and we'll go into depth on all of them further on, but just to get this out. So... you've heard some misconceptions from a few sites. You know, these are Nintendo games we want to see on mobile platforms. Nintendo is not putting any of their mainline games on a mobile platform, except for their own. So you're not going to be able to play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on your HTC whatever, or your Samsung S6 or S7 or whatever, or your iPhone. It ain't going to happen unless you have an emulator. So, so for those of you who felt that Nintendo was just going to somehow just leave the industry and you know they're going to go after that mobile market in that regards, no. Another one is that they're going to drop all support for platforms, both handheld and home console, and somehow, you know, just go strictly to PC and smartphone. Hold your breath. Wait.
And slap yourself.
And no, slap yourself. Hold your breath and wait, and I guarantee you'll pass out before that happens.
And then you can slap yourself.
Even if you could hold your breath till the end of time, you're going to be waiting a long time for them to put their games on PC. The third one, oh, well, this means that Nintendo is admitting defeat, and they just realized that they're losing too much money. Okay, then. Just a quick notice. These two companies did a little thing called a reciprocity agreement in order to basically have a partnership, and they bought $186 million worth of each other's shares. Now, $186 million of Nintendo's money got 10% of DeNA. $186 million of DeNA's money got 1% of Nintendo's shares.
Ooh,
It's DeNA. It's DeNA.
Think about that. DeNA, DeNA, DeNA. I don't care how you want to say it.
I call her DeNA, and she's lovely.
Let me put it this way: when your money, look, Nintendo's got long money. Okay, long money gets you 10% of your person, whereas DeNA's money, DeNA, DeNA, they got 1%. I mean, let me put it this way: DeNA got the short end of the stick.
Oh, you gotta say it like this. You gotta say it like this. That's a one-sided match, Brock.
Yeah, it's very. Dude, it's very one-sided, bruh. And lastly, and possibly most importantly, you're gonna hear a lot of naysayers say, "Well, Nintendo's losing. Nintendo, it's terrible. They're somehow, how dare they betray us?" Look, Nintendo has been in this industry longer than all of their competitors. Okay, they've outlasted Atari, they outlasted Sega, they outlasted the Amiga, They outlasted the Sharp. They outlasted Hudson's TurboGrafx. And I'm pretty sure they'll outlast the Microsoft Xbox brand. so I can tell you right now.
Well, you don't think they're gonna outlast Sony?
I think Sony is just going to is going to roll up the Sony console into a streaming device. So the consoles, as you know it from Sony, will end either the end of this generation or by next gen. But I mean, they might have a model.
Nah, man, PlayStation. Sony's gonna make it, man. Greatness awaits.
eventually. But I digress. So basically, what you're gonna see is, I mean, basically, when a company has been in business that long and has faced such horrific odds, I mean, they're a 125-year-old company, well, older than 125, but I'm rounding it. They're a 125-year-old company. They've seen a lot of shit, and these people know a little something about the industry. They know a little something about how to get things done. And you can let Satoru Iwata's please understand and measured sentences and very careful enunciation fool you. That man is a shark. Okay? That man is not to be trifled with. And a lot of people have underestimated that man. And is in some ways Iwata is worse than Yamauchi, because Yamauchi, he exuded the aura of a dude not to be effed with, whereas Iwata seems like a nice guy, but I wouldn't play a chess game with him, or go or shogi. But
hold on, are you saying that Iwata-san is technically Harvey Two-Face?
No, I'm not saying he's Harvey Two-Face. I'm saying that going up against Satoru, I'm saying that looking at some of the moves this man has made, I mean, it's damn. Business-wise, Satoru Iwata, don't let the please understand fool you. Like, this dude has done some stuff where I'm like, damn. I mean, he was handpicked by Yamauchi. Like, you don't think Yamauchi would handpick someone who was a punk, do you?
Hell to the no.
No.
I mean, people need to stop thinking that Satoru Iwata is a bitch, for lack of a better word. Like, don't think that because he talks like that and he wears three-piece suits, that he's a bitch. I mean, you can't roll Iwata, but that's aside from the point. This company's been in business for too long to just roll over like that. They always have another hole to run to. And so I guess we'll start with the first one, them buying stock of DeNA. What do you guys think?
I think Dana's a lovely woman who will bring prosperity to all of this. Well, will assist in bringing prosperity to all of this.
Okay, Ms. T?
Well, Mr. T here, Mr. T show. Since this is the quote-unquote calm cast, I think Mr. T might be inappropriate, so I'm going to move into my subtlety.
Oh, that was awesome. That was
a very smooth transition, Mr.
Very, very smooth.
For the calm cast. Well, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What do you think about the DeNA, them partnering up, them joining their two martial arts schools together to create a more powerful martial arts school?
It makes a lot of sense because it's a good business move because you have a company that knows what they're doing already instead of Nintendo trying to take that on themselves. And they've been talking about going into that venue for a while now, a couple of years at least. They said that they weren't going to, like you said, just start porting over classic games to the mobile, because that's just not how they work. They want to make sure it's a new experience, the right experience for that platform. So I think DeNA will be handling most of the games. They'll just be licensing certain characters and stuff. So just think of a game like that just came out on Wii U. That would be perfect for this platform. That's Mario and Mario versus Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. That is a game that would work very well on a mobile platform, and that's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get like The Legend of Zelda the next, you know.
Nope.
You're not gonna get a port of that. You're not gonna get anything like that. You're gonna get games specifically designed for mobile devices, which I like. I hate playing games on a mobile device that were made for a console. They just don't work as well. And I love the games that are made for mobile games or mobile consoles or mobile devices, I should say. And that's what Nintendo understands. And they're going to use this mostly as a marketing platform because I believe that Nintendo understands that mobile devices pretty much aren't going anywhere. The bubble may burst on the games, but the devices themselves aren't going anywhere. And I think Nintendo wants to ensure that the popularity that their handhelds get bleeds into their console business. And this is a great way to make sure that happens. So.
Yep.
You know,
Triple M.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on Mrs. T's here about the Mario and Donkey Kong Tipping Star. Now, what if they actually put that game on the mobile, but not the entirety of it? Maybe like a piece just to get a taste of it. So, hey, if you want more of this, buy it on the Wii U or the 3DS.
That would piss people off. I don't think they'd do that.
Or what if they did this? What if they had a Tipping Star-esque game that had the characters, had a general Tipping Stars light-esque game that you won stars in that game, but you could take those stars and transport them over to the main game in order to unlock new content.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I would go even further than that. Unlock content that you can still unlock in the game itself. So, yeah, you just might get it quicker when you're using the mobile version, but you can still unlock it from the game itself. Also, on point with the that Nintendo bought that Nintendo and the DeNA bought shares of each other. I can pretty much see it as basically they're cushioning each other's if they ever fall or something like that. But yeah, that's basically how I see it.
It's another revenue stream for them. It's something that won't affect their mainline software and hardware business at all. And again, it will help them marketing wise because so many kids today are on mobile devices, even more so than dedicated handhelds. So that's just another way that Nintendo could say, hey, we're Nintendo, we're over here, we're cool. Make sure you buy our console too.
Yeah. or like another thing with this interconnected infrastructure is you could have it so that like Nintendo was like, okay, we have this probably, I'm not saying it would be this game, but they have like a Pokemon Tower Defense, right? Mm-hmm. And because you have the account system interconnected, like let's say like on lower difficulties you might win a potion here, a potion there, but maybe like in higher difficulties you can win a nugget or an actual, like you beat the game, you get a Pokemon. You can transfer that over to your mainline Pokemon game in the thing. So even if someone who didn't have a Pokemon game, like, man, I won all this stuff, but I want to redeem it, I'll have to buy the game. I mean, that's a really neat way to entice people into buying your games, your console, your I mean, it's this interconnectivity. And it also, if you have a Nintendo network ID or whatever their new thing they're going to use to tie the accounts together, people can't game the system because it's all under one account, but it's also interconnected, so everything is there, and DeNA has the infrastructure for it.
Right. I mean, just think of it like this. I just want to throw this in real quick. A big thing that happened for Apple way back in the day was the iPod. and a lot of people jumped on Apple computers because of the iPod. It was that device that got them. Oh, I want this. I want this unified software on that unified hardware that is the the MacBook or your whatever Apple computer you use, and that got more people to buy Apple computers. And to me, that's what I see Nintendo trying to do here. Like I said, I think they're trying to use the mobile infrastructure and bring people over from, because there's droves of people that have mobile devices, and bring those people over, at least get them conscious of Nintendo still existing. Because there's a lot of people that just, for whatever reasons, that they were kids, they played Nintendo when they were a kid, and that was just something they did as a kid. And they didn't, quote unquote, grow up still playing Nintendo consoles. For whatever reason, something else caught their eye, a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever, or Sega in the what was that, 5th gen?
Yep.
Sega caught their eye in the 5th gen. They fell for the commercials, kind of like I did too, and they kind of switched over. And from Sega, they went to PlayStation. They didn't come back to Nintendo. So they're trying to bring those people back. Using this device that is pretty universal. The mobile device is pretty universal. My kids, my 3-year-old loves playing on iPad. So, that's just something they're trying to get back that mind share. That's a word I like to use a lot, is the mind share, to get, people that, because Nintendo isn't an entertainment device like the other consoles are, like a PlayStation is, or an Xbox even, because it's just, it's mostly thought of as a video game console. You're losing out on a lot of customers who want that all-in-one kind of device that they can play their movies on too, and so you get them back in the consciousness of Nintendo through their mobile usage, and I think that's the main reason Nintendo is going this route. Yeah, that's it.
I want to jump in on this, talk about my lovely lady DeNA and her partnership with Nintendo. This is kind of my thing now. Since that partnership, I've just been calling her my lovely DeNA. Saying how she's a beautiful woman and everything. But yeah, but I digress. Basically, from what I saw, Nintendo's vision has been to embrace the space of social networking. They're a company that believes in the local multiplayer experience, being around with friends and stuff. At the same time, they've had to accept that we are in a new age where people are connecting in so many different ways. And I think Nintendo's just trying to find different ways to embrace that. Hence why you had things like Street Pass. Hence why you had things like Street Pass on the 3DS. Hence why you have things like Miiverse on the Wii U. And I think they're really trying to find a way to not just bring their console and handheld platforms together, but to find a way where you take Nintendo wherever you go. Wherever you are interconnected. You are interconnected, and and that's why I think they're trying to come into this mobile market. And I agree with you, Mr. T. I said this even in the earlier podcast that they're most likely using DeNA as their mobile development team for developing games and apps and stuff, because they don't really have, apart from the basic apps that they've done, they don't really have a proper dedicated mobile development team. Maybe a research and development team, but
right.
You get where I'm coming from anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're using DeNA for. And I think what we're going to see experiences, like you said, that are tailored to mobile. And they could even be in the form, they could even be in the form of apps for games. Like, for instance, you could be playing, let's say for namesake, a game like Splatoon, for instance. You could be playing a game like Splatoon, and then you could be playing online. You could be going to check scoreboards, leaderboards, or whatever. Rather than having to wait till you boot up the game and check these things, you could be able to go on, this. Let's say this, this new social network thing is going to be called Nintendo World, for namesake. You go on Nintendo World. You go onto your account. You go into your account. You look at your game list, and then you can see all those things, like all those stats and stuff like that. Or maybe you'll even get companion games. So like how you had things like the Poke Walker with Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. you could integrate things like that into mobile. So you may have a game like you may have a Legend of Zelda game, and then you can transfer information to you have this companion app with your mobile that is similar to like the Tingle tuner, and you go around with Tingle in a mobile game where you find things like treasure, heart pieces and stuff like that, and you transfer that information back to your game. So there's all kind of ways that there's all kind of ways that you can go about it, and there's all kinds of possibilities. And I think that's what Nintendo's trying to focus on, is expanding their social space in a way where like I said, wherever you go, you're taking Nintendo with you. And I think that's what this partnership is all about, and I think that's what they've been envisioning since they really started with maybe even I'd go as early as the DS, the original DS, when they started off with things like PictoChat and stuff like that. So I definitely looking forward to where Nintendo takes this, and I think I think we're going to see Nintendo. I think we're starting to see Nintendo change. I think it's going to be a change that progressively over time. We're going to see it change in a big way, and I think when whatever Nintendo's got for the future, I think a lot of people are going to be like in quite a bit of shock to see where Nintendo's going with all of this, because they know that people are using mobile devices more, like you said, T. So they they want to reach out to those people and at the same time advertise their games. And it's not like a mobile company. It's not like some gaming companies where they bring out the same game on every platform and they bring it onto mobile as well. They're talking about different experiences, but that still keep you interconnected within your gaming life. And I think this, and that's what I think Nintendo's vision is, based on. That's what I think Nintendo's vision is based on what I know, and they partnered up with the lovely lady DeNA to do it. So here's hoping. I think I'm wishing the best of luck for it, and I can see good things happening.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know that Nintendo is just going to. This is just the slippery slope, that they're going to go completely mobile. I mean, forget the fact that they make tons of money off their own software on their hardware, but
I mean, it's like even with the Wii U, despite the fact that it's probably not even hit a 10 million install base yet, but yet Nintendo's making a whole heap of money off the software and the amiibos.
Yep. But people don't see that.
Well, Nintendo's the ones laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, they're laughing over it. I mean, when I saw that reciprocity trade that they made with DeNA, where they were like, oh yeah, they spent the same amount of money, but they only bought 1% of our shares. We bought 10% of theirs. I was like, oh God, that is a ton of money.
It's not just about the amount of shares; it's about the value of those shares.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Nintendo's value outweighs theirs 10 to 1. I mean, that is some scary stuff right there.
But that doesn't make DeNA any less of a special woman.
No, but I tell you what, it let me know that Nintendo is worth a lot of money.
It lets you know that Nintendo is still the big dog in this.
I mean, that is a lot of money. That is an insane amount of money.
That's a pimp slap the industry money.
I mean, and then you have to remember that, I mean, you think about it, that's a lot of money, but then you think about it, Microsoft, like, loses that amount of money, and it's nothing to them. Like, I lit my cigar with that money. That's Microsoft.
Speaking about Microsoft, when you compare Microsoft's way of doing it and Nintendo's, it's like Nintendo is doing the exact opposite of what Microsoft has been doing for the past since they got in this business.
Yep. But somehow Microsoft are the ones that are making all the money. Well, in terms of
Microsoft making money on video games, eh?
No, not in the Xbox division. They ain't.
I need proof.
It's like, I want to see the proof. Show me the money. But
Nintendo's pretty much been in profit in the past 6 months, but
yeah.
Somehow they're losing money.
Let me put it this way: when Iwata was like, when I saw read their thing and it's like, oh yeah, we made $250 million in the last 9 months, I was like, what?
Yeah,
like they were projecting to make $50 million.
Just
they
to put this
5 times that.
Perspective here, a little perspective. Sony has sold 20 million consoles.
Yeah.
And they just posted for the fiscal year or the year that they made 200 million.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be blowing it away by 4 times or 2 times as much at least?
Well, you have to keep in mind that.
Oh, I know why. I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're being facetious.
Yeah.
The hilarious thing is that what a lot of fans who, actually, I shouldn't call them fans. People who are zealously invested in companies that just want their money don't seem to understand is that the money in the video game industry has always been in the software.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, first-party software. And so basically, if everyone else is making money on your console except for you, that's not really where you want to be.
And then there's also the point that, because I remember I was in a podcast with Enduro and he mentioned this, that 20% of Nintendo's first-party software sales are digital. So you imagine that there's no overheads or anything like that compared to when they have to put it to retail. They're keeping basically 99% of that money.
Yep. From
that 20%.
Also keep in mind that at the time when Nintendo was they say quote unquote that Nintendo was losing money. All those times that's been happening, we've come to realize recently that they've been actually buying stuff, building stuff. So
it was money that they were spending to grow. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that when you're in business, and I know this as a business owner, anyone who's a business person, like Mr. T, he'll tell you, I had to spend money to buy a new camera. I had to spend money to buy a new software seat. Yeah, that's the cost of doing business. You gotta spend money, and you're constantly upgrading. So when they were building their new building, they weren't selling off buildings like certain companies and claiming they made a profit.
It's a simple cycle. To have money, you gotta spend money. To spend money, you gotta have money.
Exactly.
But you gotta spend money smart.
Yeah, and that's what Nintendo's gonna do. They're not gonna be like okay, which leads to another part of our Calmcast is that. It makes sense for Nintendo to just put stock to buy part of a company that already has an infrastructure for what people have been clamoring for.
Exactly.
People are saying we want a unified account system.
I'm sure it was a better deal than a certain company EA gave them.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't seem to understand is that it's much easier. It's actually cheaper, believe it or not, for Nintendo to just have. It's cheaper long term for them to just have DeNA do their network infrastructure for them than for them to do it themselves. Because the thing is that Nintendo, despite all of their many, I'll be the first person to say these people are technical geniuses, but they're on the software side and hardware side of technical geniuses. I don't want someone who should be making an awesome game trying to figure out how to get voice chat to work. It's like I'd rather you work on the game. It's like, you don't want Miyamoto in there, well, maybe we need to get that, maybe we need to figure out how to unify those accounts. No, Miyamoto, you work on your next game. Okay.
Speaking about that, when an article was posting that they said that they would have Miyamoto developing games on smart devices, and I'm like, are you freaking serious? And only recently that we've come to find out that none of that is happening right now. He is still focusing on their own platform, which is the console, which is the Wii U.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have Miyamoto work on something on a smartphone, but because the man is an artist, and even an accomplished artist can make even something like really crappy look. Like, you can give them really bad tools and they can make something spectacular. But I don't see, I just don't see like anyone like, oh my God, like, why would you want Miyamoto to make a game on a smartphone? I don't understand that.
And the thing is, if he's actually still busy on making that particular game for a console,
I mean, that's like going up to Pablo Picasso and saying, "Oh, all those paints and all those oil paints in that canvas. Nah, man, here's a colored pencil." I mean, I'm pretty sure it would look awesome, but you're limiting the creativity. Not to throw any aspersions on mobile gaming. I mean, I'm playing a mobile game right now, but I'm not gonna equate it to a Miyamoto game. I'll put it that way.
Now to be fair, when you're limited on tools, creativity actually breeds exponentially. But if you're too limited, then we have a freaking problem.
Well, that's what Hironobu Sakaguchi said. He said that the reason our games were so good back in the 8 and 16-bit generations, and even the 32-bit generation on the PlayStation, to an extent, was because they had limitations put upon them that bred creativity. So, I mean, that could in fact be the case. But
what was I going to say? Well, other than the fact that Nintendo's basically been spending money to build a nice big house for Lady Dana.
No, they weren't spending money to build a house for Dana. They were spending money to build a house for their basically, they consolidated all their developers in one building.
Look, they built a house for Dana, all right? Stop disputing this.
Dana already has a house.
Huh?
And a pretty nice one,
Yeah.
I guess.
But now she can be now she can be up at Nintendo's house.
Well, I guess if you really like Nintendo.
Nah, I really like Dana. But now that she's working with Nintendo, she just got a whole lot hotter. Excuse me.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. What I will say is that I do believe that there's a lot of awesomeness going on here, and I'm glad
that's what I'm basically reflecting that's what I'm basically trying to reflect when I say these stupid things about Lady Dana.
I mean, literally, it was a really smart move, and I mean, first of all, it's a Japanese company, and from what I heard, they said that DeNA had approached Nintendo back in 2010. Well before the Wii U ever came out. So you people who keep on saying it was a move of desperation, please stop.
I mean, whether it is a move of desperation or not, who cares? If it benefits the both of them and it benefits gaming and it benefits us as gamers, who cares if they came to them out of an act of desperation? Why is it even any of your business to begin with?
No, the only reason I say that the only reason I'm saying that it's not an act of The only reason I'm saying that that people shouldn't think it's an act of desperation is that there was thought put into this.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a reactive thing. The thing you have to realize about Nintendo, and this leads to the last thing I said, the last thing I was talking about, is that they've been in business a long time. They take the long view about everything. Like, you see, like, people look at Nintendo and they're like, oh man, they're building that studio. They did it. Like, the plans for them to build that super studio where all their artists is concentrated in one spot, that plan was at least even put together like 5, 6, 7, 10 years before it even happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they very rarely do things as a reaction. Okay. I mean, they very rarely. They're proactive, not reactive.
I think people's biggest problems is that they seem to think, you know, the gaming has been glamorized in such a way where they seem to think all the things that happen in the gaming universe are the things that you see happen in your everyday life. So, you know, if you're a person who sees crime going on in the streets in your everyday life, or what you watch in the media and stuff like that, you know, you somehow seem to think that this is how these companies, you know, that these companies are operating like street thugs, when they're not.
Man, speak for yourself. You know Nintendo's the Yakuza.
Well, even well, even when you have mafias and Yakuza and stuff like that, it's only the low-end people who are the street thugs. All the high-end people, it's like when you see all them shows about with the street thugs on road selling the drugs and stuff like that, and then you really see who the big boss is. He's living up in some big house and everything, and you know, he's eating shrimp and steak and all of that kind of stuff. That's pretty much Nintendo right there.
Yep.
But
although I would like to see Satoru Iwata's back. If I see a dragon tattoo, I'm running. Oh snap!
But yeah, but as I was saying, this is the thing. People don't understand that in the business world, things don't work that way. You know, there's so much that goes on that people are so uneducated on, and they just make all these assumptions like, you know, thing so and so physically walked up to this person and smacked them up and said, "You're making games on my system." No, it didn't work that way. Maybe when Yamuchi was in charge, but you get what I'm trying to say though. It's like, you know, there's a whole this is a whole different world you're dealing with here. You know, and people like to make assumptions like, you know, certain things can just happen out of thin air. There's a lot of politics and procedures that get involved in this. So for people to just think, literally DeNA just knocked on Nintendo's door and said, you know, and said, please invest in me. No, there was a lot more that took place.
Well, DeNA came to them, first of all, and second of all, it started in 2010. It started in 2010, which means eventually they'll say it started in 2010, which means that DeNA was thinking about it in 2009, 2008.
Thinking about it? Oh, if I remember correctly, in that conference, they actually said that DeNA came to them a bunch of times, not just once.
No, I'm saying that officially they started in 2010, but I mean, in Japanese society, when they say something started, like a year or 2 years before it officially started, people were laying the groundwork, because everything is done very deliberatively, and like there's a lot of like formal stuff involved with it. It's a different business culture. I mean, I hate to use this guy's name, but he says, you know who I'm about to say, Michael Pachter. He says he doesn't understand Japanese business. There's a reason he doesn't understand Japanese business, because it's a completely different business culture. And I'm saying this as someone that has had quite a few dealings with people in that sphere of business, and it's different than anything here in the States or even in Western business culture.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was just quickly doing something. Repeat what you just said there.
No, I just said it was it's a different business culture in Japan.
very different business culture. I mean, there's more morals than ethics in what you do in Japan, whereas in America it's just like, dude, we're the best because we got the most money, man, and we got the biggest guns, man, and yeah.
No, it's in America. It's like we don't need to make IPs. We'll just buy a studio. But anyway, so the important thing is that what they've been doing. I mean, everyone needs to calm down. People are, and here's a side note. I didn't mention it earlier. People who, if you pre-order the NX.
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
That's ridiculous.
You're an idiot. And whoever made that web page, if it's official, you need to be fired because there's no information. You don't know how much it costs. I mean, I pre-ordered Puzzle and Dragon Z and Mario Puzzle and Dragons edition. And I pre-ordered it, and they had it on Amazon for like $39.99. Now we know it's a $30 title, so it's a budget title. But I like puzzle games because the first game I ever had on a handheld was Tetris, so I'm a sucker for that.
You know what I
pre-order nothing.
Yeah,
I pre-order nothing unless there's a nice
it's
bonus.
Going to be very
unless there's like a physical bonus, and I'm not talking about software crap, that day one stuff. There's a physical bonus, or if in the case of the Wii U, they seem to not have enough copies of games in stores, so I'll pre-order a lot of Wii U games only for that reason. If I wasn't worried about being able to pick up a copy,
won't be able to find a copy,
right?
Yeah.
So that's the only time I pre-order anything. So it doesn't make sense to pre-order stuff when you just don't know what you're pre-ordering.
That's why I like Atlas, because when you pre-order stuff like first run, and it's not like a special edition, all their first run stuff normally has special stuff attached to it.
Right.
And I like that about Atlas. They're really good, but because they're a very niche publisher and they only have to sell so many units. They're a very niche studio, so they only have to sell so many units in order to make a profit, which I love.
Right.
They're not like, oh my God, this didn't sell 10 million. It's a flop.
You know what I find very
check my screen share, guys.
I'll do it. You know what I find very funny about all of this?
Wait, let me.
Nintendo already said that, already confirmed that there's a.
Stop sipping on the man. He's trying to get his comment out. He's been trying. I stepped on him by mistake. Sorry, man. Get your comment out.
And you got Fat Award on there too.
I'm sorry. Just seeing that just makes me bust out of laughter. But
it's a concept, and it's already prints money.
Nintendo already confirmed that they're working
because
on
people are already pre-ordering it.
They already confirmed a new console after the Wii U. You would think the fact that I guess to me I would have thought Miyamoto wouldn't even have to mention about this new console recently, but it seems like people just went out of their way when this whole news came about to say, "Ooh, no more new console."
Yeah, let's talk about that now.
Yeah.
No, but I just want to clarify this.
That's okay.
I just want to clarify this quickly though. Nintendo's a badass when their new generation system is just a concept and people are already pre-ordering. They said they weren't going to announce it till next year.
Well, you would believe that they would pre-order it since they first announced that, hey, we have a new console in the works.
Well, people are that gullible. But I mean,
I thought I was gullible.
No. That's how. Okay, I don't know about Microsoft and Sony. I truly do believe that the Xbox One was made in a vacuum with no actual gamers consulted when that thing was being tested. But I mean, Nintendo, even Sega with the original Master System and the Genesis. As soon as you release one console, as soon as that console's out the door, you start working on your next console. Like the mistakes you made with that console, what you would like to do better. That's just how it is. That's how the business is. You start on the next concept. And so, that's just how it is.
There was there was an interview with me with Iwata. He basically said, "Hey, uh, this new feature that we're trying to make but couldn't be on this console. Let's put it on the next system."
Yeah, I mean that's how console manufacturers are. It's always been like that. Well, okay, I don't know about Atari, but since Nintendo came in, and the others in the what I would like to call the modern console, the modern idea of the video game industry, it's always been that way. Your console gets out the door, you start working on the next one. So what? I mean, we're 2.5, 3, almost 3 years into the Wii's life cycle. Of course, they've been working on the new one for 3.5 years.
Right. I mean, this is the thing that when people start talking about this, you know that they're either frauds or they're just trolls. Like, if you don't know, Nintendo releases a console every 5 years. They've always done that, with the exception of the Super Nintendo and Wii, which were 6 years cycles. So 5 to 6 years is when they release a console. And this is the way it's always been. So for media outlets to be flipping and acting all a fool, that's for clicks and views, and it's embarrassing and shameful, and one of the reasons I hate the gaming media to begin with. And it's not just gaming media, it's all media today is crap.
Time Magazine online had that headline.
Right.
Time Magazine, and here's the thing. Okay,
That's
if it was like Kotaku or Cracked or even the Huffington Post, I'd be like, okay, that's just clickbait. Right. Time Magazine has a pedigree.
Well, you know, Time Magazine is in trouble when they start doing that. That's when you know a magazine or somebody is in trouble, because it's hard to sell magazines today. It's hard to sell newspapers. Newspapers are pretty much dead. So it's just like this is the new. Unfortunately, because of the internet, you have to put that title out there to get somebody to click onto you. Because you buy a newspaper, they don't care if you don't read everything. You already bought the newspaper.
No, they have the headline. They have the headline on the newspaper.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they'll have the headline, but I'm saying
Obama's an alien. Oh,
they don't care that you don't read every article. These guys need you to read every article.
Yeah.
But this is
they need you to click onto it. That's the only way they get the money.
This is the thing. All they're doing is taking taking stuff that has been going on in the gaming industry for ages and just putting it out as, like you said, clickbait, and people are just falling for this crap. It's like shit is nothing new.
Well, here's the sad thing, and I mean this kind of veered off of keeping calm, but I find it amusing that most of the articles you see in a lot of these quote-unquote reputable websites, they don't deal with actual gaming issues that need to be talked about. Like they say, we need more women in gaming. Why aren't there women characters in Call of Duty? Because I'm pretty sure a woman can shoot someone as well as a man can. I mean, what would it take to have a woman Space Marine go around shooting somebody? I mean, you'd have to give her some. I mean, look,
Ripley
you got to give her some. Ripley did, yeah. You can. I mean, you can have a woman inside of a loader. Get away from her, you bitch!
Samus, hello.
Sam, exactly. Well, Nintendo doesn't count because Nintendo's out of touch.
Yeah.
They just potentially made a move that will keep them relevant for the next 50 years, but they're out of touch.
What took them so long?
How dare they? It's about time we get their games on smartphones. If you think you're going to play The Link to the Past or Wind Waker on a smartphone, please take a hammer and hit yourself in the head with it.
You should say it like this, Rick Fox. If you expect to play a full-fledged, I repeat, a full-fledged Nintendo-made games like port-to-port console version, my dear, you are sadly mistaken.
Not that.
I'm just saying, if you think that's going to happen, I mean, I don't know why you would think that. I mean, you'd have better hoping that you'll walk outside of your house and a bag of money will fall out the sky and hit you in the head, and it'll have like $1 million in it. That's the higher chance of happening than seeing that happen. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen because their business model, despite them not selling as many units as they would want to, actually works for them. You buy their stuff to play their stuff. But now they need to increase their market penetration and basically who understands and knows about them. And they're doing this via DeNA. They're boosting their infrastructure. They know their infrastructure wasn't as good as it should have been. It was decent. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have no complaints with Nintendo's infrastructure. I mean, but I'm an old school gamer. Like for me, voice chat doesn't trump local multiplayer. But that's just me. There are people who want that, and if you want that, well, Nintendo's finding someone who can do it for a low price. I hope they continue to not charge you anything for voice chat in the games that have it.
Yeah, this is what
you just said it all best right there, man. I can't even explain that even any better myself.
Right. This is what I had a chat with Red Fox before this began. When people take what Iwata said about okay, it's great that the Wii U is a console of second choice, and I'm like, and people will say like, oh, Iwata's given up, the Wii is a failure, and I was like, really? It's
so stupid.
It's a lot better than to sell a console that is first place of the amount of sales, but they're not winning anything. They're not winning any money behind that. That, my friend, that's a problem to me.
Yeah, go look. Let me put it this way. Go talk to Microsoft about having a console in December and in November, December, and January. They were the top console sold for 3 months. Of course, they're losing $200 to $225 per console sold, and their first-party games sell like garbage. But they won. They won the non-existent console war for 3 months. Yay! Yay! They lost a lot of money too, but they won. They won. They won. They won. I would not want to be Phil Spencer. But we won. We won. What did we win? I checked my mailbox. I didn't win jack. Not even a Cracker Jack prize. Not even a secret decoder ring. What did I win? What did we win? I mean, the only thing that happens when Nintendo makes money is that they take that money and make games, which I guess is kind of a victory. But, I mean, I've been waiting for Conker's Bad Fur Day 2 for years. I ain't gotten it yet, so...
Didn't you hear, Red Fox? There's a rumor that a Conker game is going to be on that, oh my gosh, that other game that they showed the Conker in with.
Project Spark?
Yes, Project Spark.
Yeah.
They're still going with that.
That Project Spark is like Little Big Planet. It's a user-generated content game. So they sell you the assets, like you buy like a Conker pack for like 10 or 15 bucks. You get the assets and you can use them to make your own Conker game. Because, you know, I can't just give them $60 and they make one. But I digress. So basically, I mean, I think it's awesome that Nintendo did the things they're doing. I look forward to seeing where this is going. This is an exciting time. This really is a very exciting time. And now I'm curious. I want to hear more. I want to hear what their new account system is going to be. Like their thing to take the place of Club Nintendo. I wanna see that. I want to know what that is. I'm curious. My curiosity is piqued, if you will. I want to know where they're going. I want to see what they're doing. It could be awesome. It could be terrible, but knowing Nintendo, it'll probably veer on the side of awesome. Hopefully, it'll veer on the side of awesome.
I mean, all these times when you hear rumors of Nintendo doing something, doing this, and no official word, okay, you'll start to get worried. But after you hear the concrete plans about it, and you go like, I'm actually fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, at this point, I have nothing negative. Like, I was one of those people that I listened. I did not panic. I know people are like, oh no, the end has happened. I mean, but I truly do believe that if Nintendo left the hardware market, they would stop selling their software too. They'd just be like, you know what, forget you guys. And on that day, I would no longer be a gamer because I don't think there's anyone who could take the place of a Nintendo.
No one.
Like, there's no one who has that magic, for lack of a better word. They're just, who? Sony?
They
Microsoft?
Sony almost had that magic in the beginning.
Sega?
They just threw it away.
That's because they stole all their good ideas from Nintendo. I saw a prototype for the original PlayStation, and it looked almost exactly, verbatim, verboten in German. It looked almost exactly contour to contour to a Super Famicom. I was like, these bastards. But I digress. I'm looking forward to the future. This is exciting. This is exciting for the company that basically got me into gaming, continues to hold me in gaming, because frankly speaking, while I am a multi-console owner, I do own Sony consoles, and now I own a gaming PC once again. Like, when it comes to me, I know Iwata said that he considers it okay that he's not upset about the Wii U being a secondary console. For me, my Wii U is my primary console, and any other consoles I get will be secondary, because Nintendo pretty much gives me what I prefer in gaming.
Yeah, I think he was saying that as far as for most gamers.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the most. It's not the most popular console, obviously.
No,
I think he's just saying that in light of that, he has no problem with people buying that their other console and the Wii U as well.
Yeah,
that obviously for most of us, Wii U is our primary console.
For me,
as a business, why would you have a problem with that? It's making your money, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as it's in the house and people are buying the games. That's
right.
Cool.
He's saying he's happy as long as you buy my console as well. What's the problem?
Yeah.
That's literally what he's saying. So why is that a problem?
As long as you're enjoying the games, I can't get mad. Nintendo dropped some bombs Tuesday. A lot of people were upset, or they were either upset, stunned, shocked, or just dumbfounded. Like flies were buzzing in their mouth and flying back out again.
I gotta say that was one day I was not on the internet, and then that very same night I was like, oh, let me get up there, and then when I saw all these hooligans or hogwash things happening, I'm like, has the world frozen over? Because it seems like it was like that.
What happened to me was that I went up and I was like, I went to work, I got everyone situated, and I sat down at my PC and I booted it up and checked my emails, and I have my email set so that, like, when something big happens on either various news sites, it was on Huffington Post. It was on Huffington Post and on the Washington Post business section. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And then I was like, "This is gaming news." So I went to PlayerEssence.com. Shameless plug for PlayerEssence.com.
Francis for the win.
And found out and read deeper into it. I'm like, "My God!" And at first I was like, because a lot of places were saying, which is why I went to PlayerEssence.com and Go Nintendo and places like that. First, they were saying that Nintendo, like some places were saying Nintendo's going mobile, and they, like, the way they made it sound, like it was very clickbaity title,
No. It was like this. Hearsay.
No, they were like, Nintendo's going mobile, and here are the games we want to see on mobile platforms from Nintendo. And, like, everyone's like, well, like, they're like, the games we want to see. I'm like, those are games that will never be on a mobile platform. Why are you setting yourself up for disappointment? You're like some guy in high school who's like, man, I want to go with a girl that's 36, 24, 36, 6 foot tall, stacked, built like a brick shit house. You're not going to find that, generally speaking. Why are you setting yourself up for disappointment? Why?
I was kind of detached to all these websites that were saying one thing, and then when I went to the source, it's completely freaking bloody hogwash and different. Like, you piece of sack of websites, what are you guys doing? After that, I was like, I can't take you guys seriously anymore. Seriously, no way, no.
Well, all I'm gonna say is this: it's amazing. Nintendo made some moves that I didn't see it coming, but when I actually sat down and thought about it, it made a lot of
Well,
sense.
to be fair, Nintendo has spoke about this stuff before. I mean, Iwata spoke many times about how he's wanted to try and get into the smartphone market, but he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it Nintendo's way.
That's the thing, and to see
Well, I
all
mean, that's the
these
thing.
people, these people pooping bricks, I'm like, why you guys so?
What, you heard the clatter of the bricks hitting the floor. But the hilarious thing is that people were just very shocked. They were like, "Oh my God, oh, it's the end of the world." I'm like, why do you? First of all, a lot of these people who were saying this didn't even buy a Wii U
I didn't even bother.
or a Nintendo system. I'm like, why do you care? Like, a lot of these people say Nintendo should go third party. So, I mean, why do you care? You should be happy. Why are you upset? Why are you mad? Why are you crying? Okay. So we have gotten to the end of our cast. It was an hour. We actually kept it around the same time. So everyone give their sign-offs, and then we'll call it a day, an evening, a time, whatever. From my left, starting with Double M06.
It's been a great cast. Just jump from one cast to the next, but it's been good. I mean, these are some really good moves Nintendo is making. I'm glad we've had a chance to talk about it as well. So definitely looking forward to see what Nintendo does in the future, because it seems like there's going to be some big changes in the industry, and I think Nintendo's definitely going to be at the forefront of it all, as they usually are.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I always say, man, just enjoy gaming. Enjoy gaming for enjoy your games, man. Play your games, enjoy your games, and just have fun, because that's what it's all about.
Okay then, Mr. T.
Hey fools, Mr. T here, or Subtle T here. Had a great time with this cast, and I guess it's time for me to merge back into Mr. T. And had a great time, and I'll see you fools next time.
I like that subtlety.
That's a good one. You should actually make a show called that.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna have a Mr. T versus Subtle T talk.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Like the good cop, bad cop thing.
Triple M.
I'm actually adoring this. We start with Double M and we finish this with Triple M.
That's actually a good one.
A lot of parallels going on here.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that we're all in a podcast talking about parallel universes.
Touche. This is Triple M, the lone wolf and fondness for games that pops out in my artworks. And after yesterday, I thought that.
So
I thought that
I made a stupid mistake.
Oh snap, man! Well, after yesterday, I thought that I was a bit of a madman, but apparently I'm one of the most civil one around here too.
Okay.
Okay, but you are a madman, though.
It's me, Mr. Red Fox. As my alter ego likes to say, we'll mix the pork and beans and the rice-a-roni and call it Beanie Rice-a-Rooney. Or just Sanford and Son. Go watch it. You guys will get the joke. It's an in joke. So this is Mr. Red Fox signing off. Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time p.m. I'll be doing a podcast about the console wars and what does it take for a company to earn a place at the table in order to be called a part of the console wars, and what does that even mean? So stay tuned for that tomorrow, Friday, March 20th. So good night.
Thank you so much for playing my game.